Incoming transmission.
Picture this. A recording studio somewhere far, far away.
Welcome, Watchers of Illusion, to my Castle of Confusion on the 10th of July, 2019. I'm looking at Pang on the Commodore Amiga today, and the Amiga 500 at that, which is nice. Gonna get stuck in a second. Look at this lovely intro screen. Isn't it beautiful? Based on an arcade, actually, arcade conversion. So we're gonna stick it on easy, because you know what I'm like. So you can see already, I mean, if you've played the arcade version, this is going to be incredibly familiar to you already. I think I've either covered the arcade version or the Spectrum version on the channel already, but I thought I'd have a look at the Amiga version today because, well, why not? Arcade conversions are very hit, or very miss, or incredibly shocking, but this one actually is pretty damn good. Nice colours, and animations are lovely and smooth as well. Absolutely. If I hadn't told you this was the Amiga version, I think you probably wouldn't have guessed it was the Amiga version. Apart from so the Amiga had sort of a sort of distinctive music array, shall we say. I think you can pretty much tell when it's an Amiga game by its soundtrack. But hey, there you go. So graphically, it's absolutely lovely. Oh, watch out for that big snot bubble. Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. They've done a really, really good job with this, and it's basically arcade perfect. Backgrounds are nice, the animations on the bubbles are nice, lovely and smooth, and the actual character animation is nice, which is always a bonus. Now, you'll notice here you can't jump. You've got to basically position yourself underneath these bubbles and then burst them down into smaller versions of themselves to be able to take care of them. What you've got to be careful of is not splitting too many up at once, because otherwise it can get a little bit busy on the screen, but that's not a problem because, as you can see there, again, no slowdown. That's always nice as well. The Amiga was a bit of a hefty champ in the old home computer market. I'm actually playing this on an Amiga 1200, not a 500, but it works just as well on the 500. Ooh, that was an extra life there. So let's have a look at. Oops. Now let's have a look at the UI. So I've got 7 lives, 6 lives now. Bottom. Oh dear. Not doing very well here, am I? You can see the lives in the bottom left. You can. Oh dear. You can see what stage you're on in the middle, and as you can see there is a player 2 button that says push button, and that will enable you to join in. Now, I may be able to actually show you that later because for some unknown reason, player 2 is mapped to the second button on the joystick, and I'm not sure why, but hey. So if I get a chance in a bit, I'll activate the 2-player mode so you can actually see for yourselves, because it'll just, well, work weirdly. Anyway, you can see on the screen there are bonus objects that you can spear, which just give you some nice points there. And it's lovely. Absolutely lovely. And you see the power-ups as well. You'll get an assortment of power-ups. That is a grappling hook there, which will just lock onto anything that it hits until something hits it, or the timer expires on it. But there you are. That's quite a nice one to have. And if you get double of those, that's quite nice also, because you can put up a couple of barriers to protect yourself, just like that. You can just attack these animals that randomly appear. Oh, blimey. Not sure I managed to avoid that, but never mind. Oh, I couldn't jump over that. That's where the lack of a jump button comes in. But oh well, never mind. It works very well from the pad as well, or a joystick, whichever you want to use. It works very well on either. I'm using a 2-button pad for this, and it works. It works really nicely. Very responsive controls, which is nice, because you do get some games that look great, but they respond like a dead dog. So it's nice that this has actually retained its arcade playability from that point of view as well. Now the sound and music's good as well. You can hear the jolly theme. God, how did I manage not to get hit by that? You can hear for yourself the theme tunes are all intact as well, which is absolutely brilliant. Holy hell, there's a lot of red blobs. Right, let's Oh my god, ah! Okay. There you go, see, my old pro skills are returning to me slowly. If you can call them pro skills. So the controls are very simple, left, right, up and down, and fire. And that's it. It's as simple as you need it to be, and that's all you need it to be. You'll be going up and down ladders, just so you know. That's why there's an up and down. I did think it's a bit strange there's no jump, but I don't remember there being jump in the arcade either, to be quite honest with you. This scored quite highly, actually, in the top 100... Oh no, was it top 100 or top 10 Amiga games? One of the Amiga magazines scored it very highly, and I can see why, to be honest. It's good fun, and of course with a two-player option, you can't really go wrong, can you? It's just great fun. Now, the two-player option, I will just cover this very quickly. You have a pool of lives each, but if one of you loses all your lives, it is game over for both of you. Not quite sure how that's fair, but never mind. It does work quite well, and it keeps you on your toes. It helps you to cooperate as a team and try and clear the levels as you go. Now, you can see that the levels are different in the backgrounds as well. So we're in Angkor Wat at the moment, but you can also go to other zones where the environment will actually work against you. So there is, I think there's a map in Russia that you can play on, and it will actually make the floor slippy because it's covered in snow. So you've got a lot more things to look out for in the later stages, which I think is quite cool, actually, because I mean that's just something else that you've got to look out for. Sliding into bubbles is going to be one of those things that that will become common occurrence, I can promise you. You can see there you get various pickups. That was a extended time, which you can see in the top right hand corner of your screen at any given time. And you want to try and do that, because some of the stages are tricky and they are hard to complete within the time limit. These little cutscene screens here as well are quite nice as well. And if you have got the second player, then you'll both be featured on those screens. So that's even nicer. But it's one of those games that's just really good fun to play, solo or with friends. Of course, it's always going to be better if you've got a mate to play with, but it's one of those great little solo games. You can pick it up for an hour, 2 hours, 10 minutes, up to you. But it's one of those games that you could just literally pick up and play. No real thought processes, just pure arcade fun, and that's what we like in a game. Playability wise, I think that's pretty much been covered. It's like it's a very, very fun game, and for younger players it's not too bad for a learning curve either. I think you could probably get away with probably about age 5+ on this one. It's not that bad once you get the hang of how the bubbles work, but it doesn't take long. So that covers age range as well. And did you ever play Pang, by the way? Just throwing it out there. Did anyone play it on any systems? I remember having it on the Spectrum, and I was quite impressed with it on the Speccy, if I remember rightly. That actually scored quite highly in the Spectrum magazines as well. So yeah, if I haven't done it on the Spectrum, I will do it on the Spectrum. Obviously not next, but I will put it on my to-do list. But you can see that the levels get more extravagant as we go. The bubbles come in different shapes and sizes before we start now, which is quite nice. So there's a lot of variety in the game, and that's a lot of bubbles. Oh my bloody hell. So as you can see, it is a platforming game, sort of. Oh yeah, if you get the gun, by the way, you can't shoot the platforms, which is a bit strange. You'd think you'd be able to like that. Oh, there we go. There's your 2-player. I've just pushed the second button on the pad. So you can have 2 grappling hooks going at once. Oh, that's a nice glitch. So your fire button will use the grey guy, and the other one will use the pink guy. And you can actually do it twice. Yeah, so I don't know quite why it's mapped like that, but it is, and it works. So there you are. You can have a 2-player with yourself, if you like. So yeah, you can actually survive a bit better because you can actually throw up 2 grappling hooks at once. Just be careful, because sometimes the other player will escape from your vicinity. Best way I've found of doing it is to walk into a corner so you're both compacted together. It's a 2-player game and it's lots of fun. I thoroughly recommend giving Pang a go. And that's about it from me for this show. I will see you again real soon for another Retro Revival. My name's Rich, you keep it retro, and bye for now!